I said, I see marriage is working again. And tonight, I want to touch and just whine up briefly on the diseases of men. The diseases of men. Tomorrow, I would fall on the diseases of women. Oh, my. Sunday, I started with the diseases of men. Look like you're not happy. This is not how you always rejoice. Whether you're happy or not, I'm going to preach it anyway. So. I'm ready to preach my preaching. When I had the call of God, one of the things the Lord told me to be careful about are the faces of men. Look at your neighbor's face. If the person is not smiling, say you are the one pastor is talking about. One day I went to some place, there were some big men, and they were sitting. So I first of all started with a disclaimer. I said, what you are going to hear is not from my mouth. It's actually God. And God said, when I stand, He will be opening my mouth and things will be coming out. Whatever comes out is God. So I said, so get ready. God is going to talk to you. And because God is older than you, He can talk to you like you're a small boy. I said, say amen. And they were quiet. I said, God, that says the Lord, say amen. And some of them still frowned their face. I said, look, the earlier you start smiling, the better, because I'm going to hit hard. And when we finish, you can't give me a slap. You can't do anything. You can only be annoyed with me. And your face cannot harm me. I said, so I'm going to preach. Amen. Wow. Diseases of men. The family is so important. Let me tone down and just talk. The family is so important. God is a God of families. God is a God of families. And He wants to see your marriage work. I've always been asking myself, why is it that most marriages are full of problems? There is bitterness. And people have the saying that marriage is the only war in which you sleep with your enemy. People say, before marriage, a woman expects a husband. In the marriage, she suspects her husband. And when he is dead, he respects her husband. People say things like, the marriage ring is the smallest handcuff that was ever invented. People say things like, if a man in marriage opens the gate of his car to his wife to walk in, then there are two things involved. Either the car is new or the woman is new. Or if the woman is old, then the car gate has a problem. That requires the man to help open. And these and other statements abound to the effect that marriage is problematic. It's not supposed to be so. But it has become so because of our poor understanding of certain things. And even if we understand them, the lack of will to obey what the Bible says we should do. In 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 28. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 28. Paul the apostle writing said that if thou marry, you have not sinned, and if a virgin marry, she has not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. So there are troubles in marriage. There are troubles, and some of you who are here, you face a lot of those troubles. So my message tonight is going to be for those who desire to marry, those who are married, And those who regret, they are married. Amen. Turn your Bibles with me to Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 9. I'm dealing with the diseases of men. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 9. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity, which he has given thee under the sun. Later part of it says that for this is thy portion in this life. Live joyfully. Live joyfully. It's an instruction. Don't see it as a suggestion. It's a command. And only those who obey commands end up in command. And those who obey rules become rulers. And men who obey laws become lords. Never disregard the instructions of God's word because you embrace destruction. Live joyfully is a command. So when you see that you are becoming angry with your wife, force yourself and become joyful. Live joyfully with the wife of thy youth. If you want to find faults, you will find faults. Even if you want to find fault in God, you will find fault in God. There are people who are annoyed with God right now. That's why they have said they won't serve God. They have found God's fault. As far as they are concerned, God doesn't answer their prayer the way they wanted him. They think God is too slow. They think God is too slow. So in their own mind, they have found problems with God. If God is all powerful, how come that there are wars, innocent children are dying, and God didn't come down to fix it? And after asking that question, they didn't wait for God to answer them. They became annoyed. So people have found problems. So even if you were married to God, you will still have problems. Because the problem is not in the person you are married to. The problem is in you. You are never content. You are never satisfied. Sometimes I see a man who is blessed with a beautiful wife, well educated, polished, great and awesome accent. The diction is clear, like a British woman. Romantic wife, awesome vital statistics, incredible looks, charming face, sparkling eyes, pointed nose, white teeth. And this lady knows how to cook well. And she can bless you at all times. But this man will leave this pretty lady and go around and be chasing some non-entities along the road. And you wonder what is happening to this man. The most annoying part is that even if he goes to chase that lady's superior, it's even better. But she will go and look for some funny creature, what we call caricature. The Bible says, live joyfully. If you are sitting by a man, look at him and say, live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest. Not all the days of her strength, not all the days when her breasts are still standing, not all the days when there are no wrinkles on her face, but all the days of thy life. I'm preaching, man. If your neighbor is sweating, he's a suspect. Just praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Now, brother, do you remember your marriage vows? As part of it, you were asked, Brother Suzuki, will you now take Sister Susie to be thy lawfully wedded wife, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Will you love her, comfort her, honor and keep her in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others? Chinese babies, Hong Kong queens, Ethiopian beauties, German damsels, and African queens. Will you forsake all others? Keep thee only unto her. So long as ye both shall live, and that day you joyfully, excitedly, mumutiously, sheepishly, you said, yes, I do. And they said, and your teeth were white. Now, what happened after a few years? The woman, she talks too much. She's Satan's firstborn. So you... Clap hands for the other man. A man who can marry Satan's firstborn. Clap for him. So, you carry snaps, cola, and some piece of cloth, and went to Satan and asked for her daughter. You two, you are there. Clap hands for yourself. Praise the Lord. No, live joyfully with the wife of the youth. It's not going to happen automatically. It requires hard work. Nothing works without work. If you see a couple that are married for 40 years, 45 years, 30 years, it doesn't mean they never had problems. They had their issues. They had their misunderstanding. They had their issues. But they always decided to resolve them. When things go bad, don't go with them. When things go bad, don't go with them. You don't kill your firstborn who is misbehaving in order to give birth to a secondborn. You keep that one managing and praying, trusting God that God will reform him. You don't destroy your first marriage in order to get a second. The Bible says, I hate divorce. Say yes, the Lord. Every man here, you must make, when you must make a vow that, Lord, to the best of my strength, I will never even contemplate divorce. I will never contemplate divorce. I will love my wife for better, for worse. That should be your resolution. For better, for worse. You can't go and marry that girl. When you married her, everything was straight. You can tell the difference between a woman who has not given birth and one who has. When you married her, everything was straight. Look at her skin. It was smooth. Black, dark, and lovely. Her tummy was flat. She's not to wear corset. Everything was in place. Chop, 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 chop. And you, this same man, after pouncing on this body, even granules, when you pounce, doesn't it crack and turn into powder? You've damaged this body. And after all these things, you now want to change. Change for where? You don't fear God. You don't fear God. The Lord told me something, and he said, he's against husbands who cheat on their wives. I heard it in my dream. The Lord said, the wind is against every husband who cheats on his wife. Why are the men not clapping? Only the women. So have I said something wrong? I'm flowing, I'm flowing, I'm flowing. I'm flowing. Love your wife. Love your wife. Like I told you on Sunday, let me tell you something. The tears of your wife is a liquid curse. Let me say that again. The tears of your wife is a liquid curse. You didn't marry that woman for your brothers and sisters to torment her. You didn't marry that woman for your family to torment her. Any brother of yours can come to your house and just talk to your wife anyhow. Any sister of yours can come to your house and talk to your wife anyhow. Anybody can just come to your house and talk to your wife anyhow. And that woman is constantly crying. She's constantly weeping. When you do that, you are provoking the hand of God against your life. All may seem like it is well now, but it is not. There is a wind is rising and blowing against you. Wake up, man, and sit up. And show that your house becomes a fortress. And a habitation for the Spirit of God. Let there be joy in your house. That woman you have turned into a punching bag. You slap her when she does anything wrong. You hit her. If you are man enough, go and face that macho man at Hausa Zongo. And see if he will not meet you at TTH emergency ward. But every small thing you tell your wife, you want to cry, and you will be joking. You will be joking. You want to cry. Let no man go out. I'm preaching. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. You see, marriage is designed by God to be enjoyed, not endured. The two are meant to be better than one, not bitter than one. Ecclesiastes 4:9. Happy marriages make happy homes. And that is why your marriage must work. There's no substitute for a good marriage. I've said before that a bad marriage will make you buy TV that you can't watch. It will make you build a fine house that you can't live in. It will give you a queen size bed that you cannot sleep on. At least you have nightmares on it. It will make you... In fact, next to hellfire is an unstable, quarrelsome marriage. A goodly home is too precious to trade away. That's why you have to settle down, man, and get it right. The Bible says the man is the head of the home. So if anything goes wrong, even if it's not his fault, he will be held responsible. Sometimes people from this church may act in a way that is not right. I'm not even aware of it, but I'll be held responsible because I am the head. That's the power of headship. That's the power of headship. If all the passengers in the vehicle are sleeping, but the driver is awake, they will get to their destination. But if the driver is asleep and all the passengers are asleep, if the driver is sleeping and all the passengers are awake, they will still not get to where they are going. That is what we call headship. Being a leader is very important. So if you are the man of the home and people don't, and your children don't pray, your wife, they don't pray, it's your fault. It's your fault. If there's no prayer going on in that house, it's your fault. If there's no peace going on in that house, it's your fault. Because women are reactors. Women are reactors. They are like vending machines. It's what you put in that will determine what will come out. If you put in a coin, 1 Coke will come out. If you put in 2 coins, then 2 Cokes. 2 things of Coke may come out. So it's often said that give her a little piece of cloth and she will give you a dress. Give her ingredients, she will give you a meal. Give her a sperm, she will give you a child. Give her trouble and she will give you hell. Because whatever you give her will be multiplied, shaken together, pressed down, running over. She will give unto your bosom. So what you sow is what you reap. Praise the Lord. Am I speaking to the men? I said, am I speaking to the men? So God-fearing men, you don't shout at your wives when they are talking. It hurts her. Only a foolish man will call his wife a bitch. I don't mean bitch, the one by the seaside. B-I-T-C-H. Witch or swine. If you are married to a pig, what are you? A piglet? God-fearing men don't speak evil of their wives to anyone. Joseph refused to make Mary a public spectacle. If it were you, and you discover that you are not responsible for your wife's pregnancy, what will you do? Ha! Pastor, this nonsense must stop. Jesus even said that any man who divorced his wife except on the grounds of marital unfaithfulness. So you just quote that verse. But the Bible says Joseph didn't want to make a wife a public spectacle. Why is it that when your wife does something small, your brothers hear of it, your sisters hear of it, your friends get to know about it, you sit down and you paint that woman black? You need baptism of Zome. You have to use olive oil. Your own needs special. Zome mixed with diesel. It's immaturity. The Bible says love covers multitude of sins. So any man here who makes the wife a subject of discussion and other women get to hear and they ridicule her, that man is not acting wisely. He's immature. Can't you see that I'm running away from the word fool? I don't want to say you are a fool, but I'm running away from it. So you are acting immature. Amen. God, today I don't want to use offensive words. Amen. Yeah. So I'm preaching politely. Yeah. God-fearing men never compare their wives to other women. Stop wondering if you are married to the right person. She's the right person. I'm telling you as your pastor, that is the right woman you married. This is the voice of God. The woman you married is the will of God for you. Amen. Hey. Yeah. You stick to her alone. Do you know why the dove is the emblem of the Holy Ghost? How many of you know the dove? D-O-V-E. The dove is the emblem of the Holy Ghost. The dove throughout its lifetime sticks to one sexual partner. That's a bird. And human beings with degrees. Keep your woman. Keep one woman in your life and in your mind and in your bed. It's called faithfulness. Proverbs 5:15 says, drink waters out of thy own system and running waters out of thy own well. God-fearing men don't threaten their wives. They are gentle and accommodating. Amen. Stop speaking anything that comes into your head. It's not a sign of boldness. It's a sign of immaturity. That's for me, I say it the way I want to say it. No. It's immaturity. Grow up, sir. Hello? People respect you a lot, so respect yourself. I beg you. We don't want problems. God-fearing men, you don't make negative comments about your wife's body. After you've reduced that body to a piece of powder. So please, don't be childish. Grow up, sir. That woman risked her life and carried your babies. Do you know what it is like to carry a child for 9 months? And sometimes they have to cut that woman. They cut her and remove the child once, twice, thrice, sometimes 4 times. How many men, if you are a man and they cut you once for the sake of your wife, you don't know why it is like offer your belly, lie down, and let them use blade and cut you small part and leave you. Then you know how to respect that woman. Am I speaking sense? So God-fearing men don't shout at their wives in public and in private. Some people just don't know how to do things in the quiet, on low tone. No. Even when they are making love, they are always making noise. I remember when I was doing my national service in Pembe, there was one man like that. He was supposed to be a father, a priest. If he had completed, but he gave up and decided to marry. And so we were neighbors. My room was just next to his. And he would be making noise. He said, "Why you kill me?" Oh, I said, So I came out of my room one day. I thought that I just got the news. It's a true story. So I thought that there was a fight. So I came out. When I was going, I think you should know the law. It's like I met. He said, "No, that they are not fighting. That's how they are. That every night, that's how they make noise." So so I left. Sorry, I was the only ignoramus in town. Somebody say, "Mercy, Lord." So even manage your excitement. Don't disturb public peace. Amen. In the same way, when they are angry, all their neighbors will know that they are fighting. Abba. Oh, this is my sermon. Praise the Lord. So as a God-fearing man, appreciate your wife. Appreciate. She sacrificed her name and took your name. If you are the one, they say you should drop your name and pick her name. Will you agree? She dropped her name and picked your name. She had a vision and a dream. She brought it under yours. It's a great sacrifice. So don't pay her evil for good. That woman doesn't deserve that. Please, all the men, listen to me. Our wives don't deserve that. Praise the Lord. Don't allow your siblings and your family to come before your wife. She's one with you. She's the same flesh. And my family will think that this woman has overpowered me. They will think that she has given me something to eat. She has given you something to eat, voila. Have you not been eating her food? Hey. Look at the name and say, hey. If you die today, your children are going to be cared for by this same woman. She will labor, she will sweat. It's once a while, some of your family members may send something. But you think more about themselves. Right after your funeral, I have officiated a number of funerals. I have followed up on the widows. I've seen them alone with the children. I've seen them through the lonely times. I've seen them through the dark moments. They have suffered to raise the children that the men left them with. Only your wife will stay to care for your children. And this is the woman you are treating this way. A woman will never forsake her own children like that. There are a few instances that will involve demonic possession. But most women will stick to their wife, to their children and care for them through thick and thin. I know some of you love me very well. Looking at your face, I can see that you care for me. But if I'm not there today, after you just weep for 1 week, clear 1 week of mourning. The day you come here, Saturday, they'll carry my body to the mortuary and finish. They'll finish doing the burial and everything. And that night, no, you go home and you and your wife, you have sex. Look, I know people, If the woman say, "Oh, can't you see we are mourning our pastor? Can't you see we are mourning?" You'll be annoyed. You will not talk to her for 2 days. And if they come and ask, "Why were you fighting?" You can't say the reason why you were fighting. Meanwhile, you wanted to do things on pastor's burial day. The only woman who remain and mourn and weep will be my wife. So when you don't understand that, look, if I have the money, I'll buy that woman a jet. So if I am showing my wife love and you don't like it, go and bend the sea. But it's not my fault. Every man, go love your own. No, that is the woman. That woman outside that is looking after you, running after you, and doing all the. It's your money she's interested in. Let me tell you something. When you die today, that woman is out. She's going to look for another married man to destroy her home. Man, let's think. Oh, I don't know if I'm speaking sense. Oh, yeah, I said, let's think. Let's think. Go back home and sit down with your family. Fix things. Ensure that your heart is working. And let your marriage work. Love that woman. She's not perfect. She makes mistakes. Sometimes she'll mess up. But when things go wrong, don't go with them. Fix it. Correct the errors. Correct the mess. And ensure that you keep moving. We didn't promise you a smooth journey. It may be rough sometimes, but ask God for grace so that the crooked paths can be made straight, the valleys can be up exalted, and the mountains can be lowered so that you can walk on that path. Love that woman. Love that woman. Never raise your hand against your wife. Never. If you're a God-fearing man, invest in the life of your wife. Invest. Take time. Study the Bible with her. Pray with her. Most men hardly pray. God-fearing men make time to play with their wives and enjoy their company. Amen? Yeah. Eat together. Watch a movie. Sit down together. Relax. Play. She cares for you. You have your money, you spend your money alone. You don't fear God. Only strange women are chopping your money. You are a good man when you go out, but in your own house, you are a demon. There are some men you go out there and everybody say, "Oh, your husband is such a good man." Oh. Your husband, and they meet their children and say, "Oh, your father is such a good man. Oh. He was a lovely man." And nobody knows it. Only outsiders. His children and his wife doesn't know that he's a good man. Only outsiders can see it. Because his goodness and his mercies, they are for those who are outside. All the days of his life. Check your neighbor's temperature. Look at your neighbor and say, "Hey!" Hey, my God. I feel like preaching this evening. Amen. Amen. No, it's true. Men, one of the biggest diseases of men is cheating. 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 Some men can cheat. I call it the cheating disorder. Cheating disorder. It's a dangerous thing to love another woman outside. Take me to Proverbs chapter 23, verse 27. Proverbs 23, verse 27. Cabo your skin. Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in me. Oh, for a war is a deep ditch, And a strange woman is a narrow pit. Look at this. A war is a deep ditch. And a strange woman is a narrow pit. That woman you are dating outside, the Bible calls her a ditch. A very deep one. She's called the bottomless pit. She's synonymous to the abyss. And a strange woman is a narrow pit. Next. 28. She also lieth in wait as for a prey, and increaseth the transgressors among men. You see, this is the thing that deceives men. Thin voice, slim waist, harmless looks. Then they assume that they are harmless. Be careful. When you look at a woman, because she talks, oh, sir, you know, sir, he is a sir, good morning, sir. Oh, sir, you know, oh, sir. Look, all those things, sir. You imagine that out of that slim voice, there is no danger. I am telling you, that woman is dangerous. Me, I am a pastor. I hope you know that. And from where I sit there, this my eyes, they see things. This my ears, they hear things. And this my hands, they lay hands on hers. They fall upon hers and drive out things. And when the things are coming out, they meet my hand first. So my hands have encountered a lot of things that are in people's says. Some girls are dangerous. Look, let me tell you something. I will not even tell you stories that you may try to guess who I am talking about. Let me talk about ones that are far from here. Ones that are far from here. Daddy told us, Bishop Charles told the story. He went to Italy and met a certain gentleman. He prayed for this guy. This guy had just met a lady here and slept with the lady. And as soon as the lady finished, she told the guy that I have put a snake in you. Now what will you do? And she left. And from that day, a snake began to move in the guy's body. On and on and on like that. Until finally, when Daddy got to Italy, that he came and then he prayed for it. After praying for the guy, and he was set free. The following day, this lady that disappeared called him and said, oh, that you have returned my snakes to me. That I put them inside you to protect you. When the guy was dying. One day I was talking to a certain married man. And this girl had used some charm and tied him, man. I told you, I'm dealing with even cases that are far from here. I don't want to deal with Tamale cases. You say I'm using your case as a sermon. No, I have enough cases. And this girl, whatever she said, her word became a command to the man. And when the man sat in front of me, I saw that the man was tired. My eyes were open. I saw the man was tired. When I told him that he's in bondage, he said, no, I'm not in bondage. I said, you can't see. He said, no, I can see. That I don't have a problem. I said, I said, then carry your problem, go. Cheating, the price is too much. A war is a deep ditch. It's lack of understanding that makes a man to toy with an explosive. Adultery is not to be toyed with. The price is too high. The price is too high. It's too high. I want to kill your appetite for other women. I command it to die now. I said, I command it to die now. One day, you know, when we were in Ghana Square, I don't know, any old Ghana Square here? Okay, Pastor Chris would know this. Or you people probably didn't meet Madam Asova here. She was assistant headmistress. Very nice woman, very principled, and a good teacher. And we were celebrating one of our anniversaries. You know, I don't know if it was 40th anniversary or whatever anniversary, I can't quite remember. But we had a walk from Ganasco all the way to town. And Tesek had just begun working on the roads and all those things. So we had to take a walk. And when we were taking the walk all the way from Ganasco to town, there was a young man who was behind. In fact, a number of us, that day, our headmistress wore jeans. And as she was walking, one of the guys behind, who was from a bad boy, you know, made a remark. He said, look at the way Madame is dropping and shaking them. When he made that statement, Madame heard it. He turned and he said, young man, come here. So everybody's heart was beating because we know her, she's very principled, and we said, this guy is in trouble. But when he came around, he said, listen. He said, if you want, you can touch them. He said, there's nothing inside. It's only meat. I have never forgotten that statement. Brother. That thing, that has given you problems in your house. Because of that, your children have grown not even to like you because of the torment you've put their mother through. You've messed up your home, created confusion in pursuit of meat. Every brother do this. Say, my eyes are open. My mind is alert. It's only meat. You are the lifter of my head. You are the lifter of my head. In our families, you are the lifter of my head. You are the lifter of my head. Praise God. So if you want to help yourself, stop hugging ladies. If prevention is better than cure. So you are not a Superman. Let me help you. Follow the wisdom of fathers that have gone ahead of us and succeeded. Billy Graham came out with Modesto Manifesto. Go and Google for it. Everybody, every man here, go and Google for it. Modesto Manifesto. These were the 4 principles that he ran his ministry with that kept him away from scandals. And I believe every father should apply it. Modesto Manifesto. Many Christians now, there are some things you shouldn't do. I don't hug ladies. It's a simple principle. And it's not today I started running with that principle. Those of you who know me, from beginning, right from JHS, primary school, I didn't even know what hugging was. JHS up to today, hugging no. What will I get from it? That greeting and waving my hands cannot give. missed you. Then you go and hug. And these two things will press on you. One positive, the other negative. The circuit is complete. Now when we put a bulb on your head, it will light. Ching! And you are pretending that nothing is happening to you. Brother, wake up! When you are not clapping like this, I'm just thinking, what is happening? Pastor, what is wrong with hugging? It's a defense mechanism. Apply it. Don't spend time alone with other women. Who is not your wife? Be transparent. Am I speaking sense? Hello? Cheating occurs when you are alone. You can't cheat on your wife in public. Have you ever caught a man sleeping with another man's wife or somebody who is not his wife in public? Genesis 39, verse 11 to 12. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business. And there was none of the men of the house there within. Take note. There was none of the house men. None of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. He left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. Joseph was caught when no one was in the house. So when you are alone with other women, it's wrong. Even when another woman sees you are alone in the house, then open your curtains and go roll the louvers. Let it so a fresh air will enter. Am I speaking sense? Time spent alone with another woman alone is an occasion for adultery. Don't deceive yourself that nothing will happen. Take precautions. Avoid picking ladies alone in your car. Here and there. If it's occasional, but every now and then, you a lady is always sitting. Are you a taxi driver for women? A journey with 1,000 miles begins with a step. And you have started taking the wrong steps in the wrong direction. Abstain from all appearance of evil. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. Avoid holding ladies' hands and be walking. Some of you, that's how you are. When you are walking like this, you want the Christians to see this. Salome, come here. When we're in scripture union, these are some of the brothers, when they go for prayers, when they now finish prayer, they will now be holding the sisters' hands like this. You know. And sometimes they'll even pretend, they'll do like this and say they are advising. You know. I said, what advice is this that you have to hold the girl tight to you like this and you are offering the advice? Ajumbi. Go and sit down. Haba. Even those of us who are counselors, we let the lady sit like this, and we too, we sit like this. That's a counselor. Hello. Oh, am I spoiling somebody's plans? From today, look. One day I saw a certain brother and another lady, they were holding hands in front of the church. I screamed, I said, hey! Then everybody turned. I said, leave that girl's hand alone. He said, sorry, sir. I said, what are you profiting from holding her hand? He said, nothing. I said, then leave it. Amen. That's how it begins. It begins by holding hands. Am I speaking sense? I'm preaching, man. When ladies are walking in front of you, stop watching their buttocks. I know you didn't hear me. Let me say it. What I said there is that when ladies are walking, stop watching their buttocks. Yes, it's meat. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah. One day I was warning a certain young man. I said, the way you always like All his Facebook post is a lady is only wishes lady's birthday. I said, so is that you don't know the guys their birthday? Or I said, hey, ladies ambassador, they should have made you minister for gender. Minus children's affairs. Because you are not interested in children or the men. You only have interest in ladies. I said, stop this behavior. Amen. Oh my God. If you see a lady that is beginning to enter into your heart, you are beginning to fall for her, cut off the link. That is not the time to start chatting more with her. That is not the time for you to strengthen your relationship by giving each other gifts. That is the time to sever off links. Because you are heading towards a ditch. Guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it proceeds the issues and the forces of life. Am I speaking sense? Genesis 39 verse 7. Take me to verse 7. The Bible says, and it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph. Yes, it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph. When you see that a woman is looking at you and smiles when there is no reason to smile, and she gives you gifts by heart when it's not your birthday, and you too, you are a married man, and you are not a pastor that they are also coming to sow seeds. You say, what is this seed for? You say, oh, it's just as brother and sister. Brothers, your sisters don't give you those type of gifts. Amen. These gifts are special. So, brother, shine your eyes. Let me run. I'll finish this in 10 minutes. Then we can close. Praise God. Don't create emotional attachment with any lady that is not your wife. On Sunday, I already mentioned this. So stop calling ladies sweetheart, sweetie, my dear, darling, sugar, honey, flower, sunshine, beauty, my dear. Stop deceiving yourself. It can create emotional attachment. If she's fulera. It's simple as that. Fatima. Oh. Are you getting what I'm saying? Sister Dorcas. It's as simple as that. When you even add a sister, it kills a lot of things. We're also going to call him, oh, Brother Paul. Then it helps you. Oh, my dear, no. It's wrong. I know why you are trying to work. You are working out the chemistry, but it will never balance. In Jesus' name. Am I speaking sense? Hello? Stop giving gifts to ladies without your wife's knowledge. If she's needy and the Lord laid it on your heart to pay, to help her, then let your wife or another woman handle it. Don't let it be between you and her by saying that what you are doing, what the right hand is doing, Jesus said you shouldn't let the left hand know. Your wife is not your left hand. Hello? Am I speaking sense? Because affairs thrive in secrecy. Affairs thrive in secrecy. Hello? Let me wind up. Another disease of men is workaholism. Workaholism. Proverbs 23 verse 26 says, my son, give me thy heart and let thy eyes observe my ways. The book of Proverbs is full of that expression, my son, my son, my son, let thy eyes observe my ways. But how can your son observe your ways if you are not always in the house? Most fathers never make time for their families. It's tragic. Work, 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 work. Your first employment after God is your family. I listened to a speaker at a conference and he made a statement. It was very pathetic. He talked about two great men of God. He talked about Mr. Samuel. He was a very great man. He started Christian television. Mr. Samuel, according to him, he met Mr. Samuel's sons. And one of Mr. Samuel's sons said that, as for me, I hate the ministry. He said, I hate all those things. He said, why? He said, because my father, he never had time for us. He said, the ministry took him away from us. He said, we never had time with our dad. He said, that man, I don't even know if he was my father. Very pathetic statement. Then he said, another time, he said, that statement stuck with him. And imagine how many fathers are never able to spend quality time with their children. You never play with your children because from the family you grew up. Me, my father has never hugged me before. Because in the north here, when you see your father, can say, Dad, what? Praise the Lord. You don't play with your father like that. I don't know who gave us that mindset. And children never get to play with their parents, especially fathers. Fathers, you never get to spend time with your dad. You never pick the children out. You are always out with your friends. You sit down, you drink Guinness, you drink Castle Milk Stout, you buy kebab, you chew, you do all of that. You talk about your own stuff and come home when the children are asleep and your wife cannot talk about it. But this man of God said he met Billy Graham's children. Even though Bill Graham was also another traveling minister, he said when he interacted with Bill Graham's children, they said their father was their best treasure. They said even though he wasn't around, but whenever he was there, he made time for them. And they said they remember when they were children, when they were playing with toys, and one of the toys, a car, got broken. And the child was crying, and their father was on phone chatting with the president of the United States of America. And Billy Graham had to tell the president that, please hold on, my boy's toy is broken, so let me fix it and get back. So he hung up the phone and fixed the toy for the child to go. Then he called the president again and they continued chatting. When I heard that, it was a dart through my heart. Pew! I said, God, I'm sorry. Maybe I probably didn't go extreme, but I've learned something from Dr. Billy Graham. That family is never to be substituted. Family is never to be substituted. Family is never to be substituted. I don't care how successful you are in business. If you make all the money in the world and yet you fail in your family, you are of all men the most miserable. Your first assignment is your family. Last night at about 12 midnight, I was listening to this man, Jack. Is it Jack? The owner of Alibaba. Jack Ma. Alibaba. And he said something. I have that video. Maybe tomorrow I'll get it and play it for you. He made a statement. Alibaba is probably now the largest online shop in the whole world. That reaches out to 500 million people. That's his market span. And he said he employs over 100,000 people. He's a very rich man. He said one day his wife told him, he said, I don't have a husband. He said, you are married to Alibaba. And whilst he was talking, at a point, he said he realized that if he were to start life again, he will start it on a different note. He said he has made all the money in the world, but he has failed to build a family. And as he was talking, he began to cry. He said if he had the opportunity to start all over again, he would give more attention to his family because he missed it. I've heard the testimonies of these great men. I heard the testimony of John G. Lake. John G. Lake, whilst he was in South Africa ministering, reaching out to people, touching lives, he lost almost all his family. He returned, and about 5 or 6 of his children had died. He wept. He wept. He wept. He even lost his wife. When he had to remarry, he said he made a resolution that he will keep attention on his family. There are some men that their children fear to come near them. There are some men that their wives cannot, even if their wives cannot sit down with them and talk. They are shouting. They are always angry. If you are like that, that's why this conference is put in place. My brother, we need to check our lives. I'm not throwing stones at you, but what I'm saying is that we need to check our lives. Sometimes we miss it. Sometimes we forget about certain fundamentals. Sometimes we ignore certain essentials. We need to get down on our knees and say, Father, here I am. Have mercy on me and help me fix the broken pieces of my life. Go back and love that woman. Go back and love your children. Go back and have a plan for your family. You didn't marry that woman to fight. When you walked to the altar, your motive was to have a happy home. Then what happened? What happened to the joy? What happened to the love? What happened to the romance? What happened? Now you have become enemies. You fight. The Lord will help us. I said the Lord will help us. Let's avoid absenteeism. If Adam was present, the serpent wouldn't talk to Eve. The Lord help us. My last scripture. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 13. It says, so she caught him and kissed him. Look at verse 16. She said, Proverbs 7:16. He said, I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bears with myrrh, aloes, cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with love. Why would she do that? Verse 19. For the good man is not at home. He is gone on a long journey. He has taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. When husbands are not at home, they allow the serpent to creep into their home. The only reason why Eve could fall to the serpent because her husband was not around. And if you are not there, women love to chat. They love to converse. And once you are not there, she will chat with the serpent. And that is the beginning of your journey out of the Garden of Eden. May husbands return home. May husbands take care of their wives. May we do away with wickedness. In the name of Jesus. The point I thought I would actually mention, but didn't really deal with, was wickedness. Men can sometimes be very wicked. Genesis 6:5 says that, and God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was evil continually. Men can be wicked. Men can be wicked. I know the word man there was used in the generic sense, but the gender man can be very wicked. I know a man who told his wife. The wife caught them. It's a true story. This is in Tamale here. The wife caught the man and the girlfriend in bed. She just stood like this. She didn't know what to do. And this man got up and told the woman, he said, as you can see, I have a new catch. So find a place and move with your children. As I speak now, they are divorced. The woman she has pushed the woman. The woman even refused to go in spite of that, but she has divorced the woman. It's even a long time I saw the woman in Tamale here. Men can be cold and callous. If you abandon your children to your wife alone, you are wicked in the sight of God. No matter what, never disown your children. Right now, you may think you are a big man. Nobody can instruct you. Nobody can preach the truth to you. But remember that God is the judge of the universe, sir. God is the judge of the universe. And I believe that wickedness must end with this conference. I know a certain man. The wife used to hog, sell things, carry things. I know this man. This man went and was getting higher education. The wife did everything, suffered. I don't want to go into details. You may identify the person. But the man, look, one time I met the woman in traffic. The woman was carrying this thing. I don't want to mention the food she was selling. Some of you easily pick it up. But she was running in the traffic and selling. So I sat in the car. That's many years ago. And tears dripped down my eyes. And she sold this, took care of their children, helped this man to go to some higher educational levels. And when the man finished, now he's a big man. As I'm speaking now, there is serious turbulence in his house. What is it? Now, this woman that suffered and took care of him, this man now has left and he has gone for a concubine. Wickedness. I know another man. He divorced his wife when the woman was in the labor ward. It's a true story, unedited. I have interacted with the man. I interacted with the woman. I was involved. I don't want to give you details. He wrote to the court seeking divorce, got the divorce papers, and brought it to the woman to sign. And she was pregnant, due for labor. And the woman said she would not sign. And when the woman saw that, she went into labor by force. They carried the woman, and she refused to show up at the hospital until the woman gave birth. Until the woman gave birth. I was involved in the case. I've seen wickedness. Oh. If you are a man here, God gave you a wife. Love that woman. She's not perfect. As for the woman, her mouth is going to be sharp. Sharp, 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 sharp. She will say some things that will hurt you. Sometimes she will even accuse you falsely. And most of the things is out of fear and insecurity that she will cook them up and bring them up. But never allow these things to make you turn your back on your family. Never, never become wicked towards that woman. Now to the solution. To those of you who are listening outside in the overflow, please listen to me, sir. This is a moment of family reconciliation. I want you to go home. For the first time in your life, kneel before that woman. Hold her tight. Tell her that you are sorry. Fix your marriage. Get your home running again. That woman deserves your love. That woman deserves your care. That woman deserves your time. She deserves your all. Go. And if you do this, the hand of God will rest upon you. You don't need a prophecy. You don't need anointing of oil. You don't need laying of hands. I promise you, on my honor, and on the platform of the integrity of God's word, that if you would do this and hearken to the voice of God's servant and do it, things will begin to fall in place. The pieces will be fixed together. Your marriage will come alive again. In the name of Jesus. And if you do that, every family altar or curse that is working against you and against your home, it shall be broken in Jesus' name. Oh, come on. I said it shall be broken in Jesus' name. I said it shall be broken in Jesus' name. Can I hear your amen roll like thunder? Somebody shout, yeah! I'm done.